I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
And we are live from Road Atlanta for the 2020 Atlanta Grand Prix. Alongside me in the broadcast booth is Charles Bowen. How you doing today, Charles?
I am doing very good. Road Atlanta. Let's go.
This race is sponsored by the ALMA Network, as you just saw. That is Eddie Kalegi's league. He will not be joining us in the broadcast booth today. However, if you do want to check out his league, you can just search for, I think it's Online Motorsports Association Network on YouTube. Okay, so Road Atlanta. It's a very twisty track. The first sector is really cool with all the S's that it has. That being said, it does make it a little bit difficult to pass. So pit strategy is going to play a big factor in today's race. In the test races I did, the pit strategies were always like a split decision. Some drivers stayed out, some drivers pitted under caution, and it made things really interesting. That being said, who do you think is going to come away with the win today?
I'm going to have to say, after the showing they put on last weekend at Barber, I'm going to have to say Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Good pick, because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is actually starting on pole once again for today's race. Alongside him will be William Byron. One change for today, Ryan Blaney is actually in this race, which I forgot to do for last race. Sorry, Ryan. Alright, so let's go through, well actually I can't go through a lap of Road Atlanta, but let's go through the race details. It's going to be a 40-lap race, cautions are turned on. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Road Atlanta, 64 degrees, that will stay that way for the rest of the race, because, I didn't want to have realistic weather, because sometimes it messes up the racing. Okay. Another thing that I did want to point out, I've done my best to make the racing today much more exciting than it was in Barber. I know things got a little bit boring last weekend, so hopefully today everything goes a little bit better. One other thing that we should probably talk about is actually what happened last weekend in Barber. So, last weekend in Barber, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47 car dominated the race until a late race caution and a late race restart took out the entire top three. Michael McDowell drove through the chaos. That was one of the clips you saw in the intro, and Michael McDowell was able to drive away with the race win. Today, I think we're going to see a bit more of an exciting race throughout the race, not just towards the end, but as you know, in this series, in NR 2003, anything can happen, anything can get crazy, so hopefully we are in for a good race today. Charles, do you have any thoughts about the race today? How do you think it's going to play out?
I think it's going to play out pretty, not similar to Barber, but it's going to play out kind of the same. You might see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. kind of strut his stuff today, dominate the race. But I also think we might see some more than 2 restarts this race. I think I'll say maybe 4 cautions at most.
I would think around 4 to 5 unless things get really crazy. Just to touch on it briefly, there are a lot more passing zones on this racetrack than there were at Barber. At Barber, there were really only maybe 1 or 2. On this track, I can think of, all of the S's. There's the 2 right-handers that kind of so you go off the S's, there's this long straightaway, and then there's 2 right-handers. That's another one of the really good passing zones. The final chicane, which you can see up there on the racetrack, that's another really good passing zone. So there are a lot of passing zones on this racetrack. I think we're going to see a lot better racing than we did last weekend.
Absolutely. And Road Atlanta, it's in a way kind of similar to Barber. It's very natural, very flowing through the terrain. It's one of the greats of the American road courses, so it's going to be an exciting race here.
I personally really like Road Atlanta. When I was deciding what track to do for this weekend, Road Atlanta was one of my first thoughts. And then I thought Sebring, but then I realized that the mod wasn't made very well, and cautions kept messing everything up. Like the pace car on restart sometimes just wouldn't pull into pit lane. He would just kind of keep going, and that would ruin everything. So when deciding, Road Atlanta was one of my first thoughts. Someone did ask where Bubba Wallace is. There he is right there in that 43 car. Alright, so pretty soon we should see the command to fire engines. I can just check up on when that is. Just under 1 minute. William Byron starting outside pole. Byron, a bit of an underrated road course racer, so we'll see what he can do today. Think back to Sonoma 2019. He had a really good car there. Unfortunately, strategy didn't quite fall his way. But Byron, definitely an underrated road course racer. If he pulls even with Ricky Stenhouse off the start here, he could actually get the lead going through the S's.
Absolutely. It's looking to be a very exciting race here at Road Atlanta, and we're almost getting ready to go here.
All right, the command to fire engine should be any second now.
Drivers, start your engines.
There it is. All right, so the pace car should be pulling off the backstretch of the racetrack any second now. Let's go over the starting lineup really quickly for today's event. Row 1, William Byron and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Row 2, Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott. Row 3, Clint Boyer and Austin Dillon. Row 4, Bubba Wallace and Jimmy Johnson. Row 5, Ryan Newman and Quinn Houff. Row 6, Martin Truex Jr. and Brad Keselowski. Row 7, Matt Benedetto and Ryan Prix. And that's all the time we have because we are about to go green. Green flag falls just when the cars are on the front straightaway. Here comes your pole sitter, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. alongside William Byron as they come through the turns. Coming to the start-finish line now. Green flag is in the air. We are underway from Road Atlanta. Good start by Ricky Stenhouse as they go towards turn 1. Byron on the outside, trying to pull alongside with him. Not going to do it. He runs wide. That's going to leave the door open for Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott as they head through the S's. Down into the first sharp corner on the racetrack. Ryan Blaney under fire from Chase Elliott. Elliott's going to fall back to Boyer. Now Blaney cleared for third. Boyer around the outside of Elliott. Good move by Boyer there as Ricky Stenhouse is pulling away. Coming off the S section on the racetrack, Ricky Stenhouse pulling out his lead over the field. William Byron behind, trying to catch him. Behind them, it's Ryan Blaney, Clint Boyer, and Chase Elliott. Elliott looking to line up a move on Clint Boyer here as they head towards the chicane. Elliott now down the inside of Clint Boyer. That's going to be the outside heading into the chicane. Can Chase Elliott pull off the move? Looks like Boyer's going to stay ahead just a bit.
I don't mean to mention this on the broadcast, but I'm kind of behind on the broadcast, so I'm sorry if I'm being kind of quiet.
Are you still on the Discord app?
Yeah, I'm still on the Discord app. It's not showing that you're live streaming. Sorry about this live stream.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, this is actually one of the reasons why I run this game in a window now when I'm broadcasting. And we do have a caution out on the racetrack. I'm going to deal with...
Oh.
Actually, this is good because that gives me time to deal with the broadcast issues. Okay. I could try and figure out what happened under caution, but it happened quite a while ago and I missed it. Sorry about that. I'm going to really quickly deal with the broadcast here. Sorry, chat. We are having some technical issues.
Yeah, I'm just kind of behind because I was watching the live stream, like...
Yeah, no, it cut out, it cut out.
There
we go.
Can we do, like, where you... Okay, there we go.
You got it?
Got it.
Alright, let me know if it cuts out again. Oh.
I see everyone behind the pace car.
Yep, we do have a caution out on the racetrack. Okay, so for some reason I can't actually pull my NR 2003 window back up, like... There we go. Okay, I got it. Alright, sorry. That was a little bit awkward, everybody, but it's pretty fitting that we had a caution. Okay, why is this window like this? Alright, I'll just deal with it. Okay, so under caution here at Road Atlanta. Just trying to get the window centered here. Yeah, there we go. So, should we try and figure out what brought out the caution? Let's do that.
I think we should. I'm assuming it probably happened middle back of the pack.
It happened quite a while ago, actually, by the time I switched to the pace car. So, yeah, it happened right about here. There. So, let's take a look at what happened to bring out the first caution. Looks like it was Ty Dillon.
And Kyle Larson.
Clipped by Larson, and into the wall goes the 13 car, sliding in front of the racetrack. Brings out the first caution of the day.
Now, if I recall, on the start back in Alabama, Ty Dillon had trouble there on the start.
Very similar stories here at Road Atlanta. One story that's also very similar, kind of creepily similar, honestly, is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's really not known as a road course racer. He, in real life, doesn't really have that much, road course ability. But today, he is leading the field. But just as I say that, Stenhouse comes to
coming down to pit road. It looks like most of the top runners are coming down to pit road except Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott stays out. Ryan Prix stays out on the racetrack as well. Doesn't look like anyone else is going to be staying out. Let's take a look at the pit lane. Things can get pretty crazy here in the pit lane, so we got to make sure that we are not missing any of it. Stenhouse
has that first pit box.
I'm curious to see who takes tires, who doesn't. Stenhouse right sides go up. I mean, we're not very far into the race. You can see Ryan Blaney there just taking fuel. Stenhouse just taking right sides. Byron also with right sides. Boyer out in fourth, but Ryan Blaney is going to be the big beneficiary there. I think Blaney only took gas.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're only, maybe 2 laps into the race, into the run, so very interesting play here.
I'm interested that more people came to pit road, honestly. I figured maybe, 1 or 2 people trying to get a jump on the field, but no, that was quite a few. So Chase
Yeah,
Elliott
the only
stayed on
people
the
that
racetrack.
stayed out.
He will be your race leader when we come back to the green.
And this is technically a home game for Chase Elliott, as you're not too far away from Dawsonville, so this should be fun.
It's probably not too far away from Dawsonville. I don't really know where this track is, like, in Georgia. I just know it's named Road Atlanta, but a lot racetracks in America have this weird tendency of being named somewhere different than they actually are. Like, Chicagoland Speedway isn't in Chicago, it's in Joliet.
Alright, yeah.
And by the way, just let me know if the Discord stream cuts out again, because it's fairly easy for me to fix that.
Alright, nah, it's doing pretty smooth right now.
Alright, awesome. Oh, I think I just forgot to go live. Oh, I don't think it cut out. I just think I forgot to start streaming to you. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine.
Another thing that I would like to point out, I did do a contest on Twitter to see if anyone was going to sponsor the race. So what I did is I said, if anyone can guess the winner of the Trackmasters Cup Series Coke 0400, you get to sponsor the race. And no one guessed this guy, so no one is sponsoring today's race, other than, I guess, the OMA network. That was kind of last minute. I was like, hey guys, anyone have anything to promote? No one's sponsoring the race.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ryan Blaney really put on a performance in the Trackmasters Cup Series Coke Zero Sugar 400 earlier this morning.
Here
Really
we go.
Showed his late racing stuff, and we're coming back to the restart.
Chase Elliott's going to lead the field off the final corner, and coming back to the Geico restart zone, Chase Elliott is going to lead the field. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back underway from Road Atlanta.
Ryan Priest staying pretty steady as he's going to take a look to the inside going into turn 1.
Here comes that 37 car of Ryan Preece. He was pretty close last weekend, and Barber will see if today might be his redemption day. He is side by side with Chase Elliott coming through the S's. Around the outside, looks like Preece is going to have the advantage here heading into the next right-hander. Ryan Preece is going to take the lead. Great move off the restart for that 37 car to take the lead, but Chase Elliott is putting the pressure back on him. Ryan Preece able to hold on. He gets the run out of that corner, and Ryan Preece is going to come to the race lead at Road Atlanta.
And he's going to start to pull away from Chase Elliott, but not by much, as Chase Elliott's holding strong in second.
Now Ryan Blaney getting closer to Chase Elliott than Chase Elliott is to Ryan Preece. Ryan Blaney, a bit of an underrated road course racer. He can definitely handle himself around a road course, and on days like today, you can find him running towards the front. Ryan Blaney may be going for a win here today. Side by side behind, that's Matt Benedetto, and it looks like Brad Keselowski coming towards the chicane. Keselowski on the outside, Sam Hornish lurking behind them. I think Matt Benedetto is going to be able to hold on. Keselowski still around the outside, trying to get a bit of an advantage here, side by side through the final corner.
And the next few corners here favor Matt Benedetto as he clears Keselowski. And here comes Sam Hornish Jr. up the inside.
Sam Hornish had a pretty good run going last weekend at Alabama. I think he actually got the finish to show for that, so today maybe going for a little bit better of a finish. Maybe if strategy can fall his way, he can find himself towards the front. Back up front, Ryan Preece continuing to pull away from Chase Elliott. Behind them, Ryan Blaney in third. Blaney looking to get closer to Chase Elliott, try and make a move on him for second.
Top three have about 2 car lengths on each other, and Stenhouse, he's getting heat from William Byron in the front row.
Here comes William Byron. Remember, these were the guys that came into pit. Surprisingly, they really didn't lose too much ground. So, oh, right, because I forgot that most people pitted. For a second, I'm like, most people stayed out. No, they didn't. Most people pitted. But the drivers that stayed out are holding their ground pretty nicely. I do think one of the reasons for that is that one, there wasn't a lot of tire wear, and 2, Ryan Blaney only took fuel, so he's not going to have a tire advantage here, only fuel.
Yeah, and I noticed on the close-up of Ryan Preece's car, he has a bit of damage.
One thing that I noticed under some of the practice races that these AI under caution have a weird tendency to run into each other, so a lot of these drivers are going to end up with some questionable hood damage, and that's why. Side by side, William Byron and Clint Boyer. Boyer on the outside, going to lose his ground there. Byron is going to hold on through the S's. Boyer's going to stay right there with Jimmy Johnson, Byron's teammate, lurking behind.
Boyer tried to make the pass work, it didn't for him.
Sam Hornish
And Matt
Jr.
Benedetto's moving up.
Matt Benedetto got around Ryan Newman, and now Sam Hornish is gaining on Newman. We'll see if Hornish can line up a move here within the next 2 laps. Both these drivers coming towards the front of the field, but Matt Benedetto may be one guy that we should be looking out for. He's a very good road course racer. I think at Sonoma in 2019, I remember he finished like 3rd or 4th. In Watkins Glen, he also had a pretty good race going. Matt Benedetto, a very good short track racer, a very good road course racer. We'll see if maybe today he can get the win at Atlanta.
Absolutely, and if he does, it'll be a very popular win, that's for sure.
Update, we have a caution out on the racetrack once again. Not sure what this one is for. It might have been for Kevin Harvick. He was on the pit lane. We'll take a look at what happened to bring out this caution. Ryan Prix was leading at the time of caution. Let's take a look at what brought out the second caution of the day. Actually been out for quite a while. It's kind of difficult to tell when there is a caution out on the racetrack at these road course races, so forgive us if we miss it. It's kind of difficult to like see the wreck as it happens, as it happens live. So a lot of times you just have to figure out after the caution comes out. All right, let's see here. Okay, well, I have no idea what this caution is for. It doesn't look like anyone is spun on the racetrack. So, did it happen with Castle? Maybe the caution lights came on after the caution? I don't know, this is kind of weird. Someone just said, I blame Kevin. You know what? I blame Kevin too. Alright, well, we have a caution.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to place blame on Kevin for this one.
Well, we have no idea what happened, but there is a caution out on the racetrack, so I'm gonna trust the pace car.
It's for debris. It's a debris caution.
We have a debris caution in NR 2003. That's awesome. That's very cool. Alright. I do want to figure out what happened, though, because... I mean, do cautions just happen for, like, no reason? Is that a thing that happens in this game? I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was unlike NASCAR, where cautions had to have a reason for coming out. Maybe it happened, like, before the caution or something. Alright, so the caution lights come on there. And literally nothing is happening on the racetrack. Alright, good job, NR 2003. Can we get a good job, NR 2003, in the chat, please? Alright, well, we have a no reason caution. Awesome. Let's take a look at pit stops. Priest coming into the pit lane, so is Chase Elliott. Looks like most of the field actually coming down the pit lane, which is, in essence, going to neutralize the strategy that Ryan Priest and Chase Elliott had going. Quinn Houff is going to stay out, so we have one driver staying out. Quinn Houff and Kevin Harvick staying out, but I do think Harvick is a couple of laps down. Let's go ahead and watch the race off the pit lane. And it's going to be Jimmy Johnson winning the race off pit road. Ryan Priest comes out second. Chase Elliott third, Ryan Blaney fourth. I think Stenhouse got some damage under the caution. Like you said, he did have some damage. Stenhouse staying on the pit lane. Byron staying in for a long time as well, so maybe these drivers picked up some damage under the caution. Or maybe they were the caution. Maybe
they're really slow getting off. They're still on pit road. They're still in their boxes.
No.
This is not good for Stenhouse. 2 weeks in a row, a caution basically puts him out to dry.
So disaster! Oh no! And Bubba Wallace.
Oh no!
And Bubba Wallace nails William Byron as Byron's coming out of the pit lane, and Stenhouse is still on pit road. Take a look at this. Byron basically just turns right out in front of Bubba Wallace.
Byron was really slow and might have been pinned kind of behind Stenhouse in his pit box.
And that's going to give William Byron even more damage. So trouble on the pit lane for your race leaders. That is going to mean that your race leader is now Quinn Houff, who stayed out on the racetrack, followed by Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick, who might be a lap down in the third position. I don't know why I said
he's position 34.
That is old scoring, though, because if he did stay out, then Kevin Harvick might be in third. We'll take a look as he comes across the line, because we are going to go bat green shortly. Quinn Houff, your race leader. Jimmy Johnson in second, first driver with fresh tires. Kevin Harvick, who's been really nowhere all day, up to third. Good job by Harvick to get up there. Behind them is Ryan Priest and Chase Elliott.
Now I'm curious, has Stenhouse left pit road yet? That's my question because he was still on pit road when Bubba Wallace and Byron had their tangled. Yeah, there he is.
All right, Stenhouse off pit road. We are coming back to the restart zone. Quinn Houff, your race leader, but Jimmie Johnson, first driver on fresh tires, so watch out for that black and purple 48 car. Green flag is back in the air, and a great restart by Jimmie Johnson is going to put him right on the bumper of Quinn Houff. To the inside goes the 48 car. Here comes Jimmie Johnson, and the seven-time champion of the NASCAR Cup Series, trying to make a move for the lead here, but Quinn Houff is going to hold on. And Kevin Harvick is not on the lead lap. He is 34th on the racetrack. And actually, Quinn Houff is a lap down as well. So Jimmie Johnson is your race leader because Quinn Houff and Kevin Harvick are both laps down.
And we apologize for the bit of a error here.
Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece are going to go side by side for third. Elliott's going to line up a move and go down the inside of Ryan Preece. Sorry, this is for second, not third. Chase Elliott up the inside, trying to clear Ryan Preece as they head towards the chicane. Nearly contact there between the 37 and the 9 car.
Now it looks like Preece was almost about to door Chase Elliott coming off the corner.
Here comes Chase Elliott up the inside towards the chicane, but he's going to concede the position. Ryan Preece is going to hold on. We'll see if he goes for a dive bomb up the inside. He does not. Behind side by side, Joey Logano and Ryan Newman, as Sam Hornish continues to work his way up towards the front. Austin Cindric also in this race as well, right now in front of Sam Hornish. Chase Elliott and Ryan Preece once again looking to go side by side, but Elliott cannot. It's not really a good idea to go for a move in the S's, because if you don't do it right, then you can lose a lot of time. But unfortunately, Chase Elliott's going to lose more time than he wanted, because now he's under attack from Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Blaney, like you said earlier, very underrated road course racer. He even won at the inaugural Roval race. Of course, that was on a bit of luck there, but hey, he still won it.
Well, since we're talking about Roval racing, Jimmie Johnson was the other driver involved in that controversy, and right now he is leading the race. Well, positionally on the racetrack, he's not leading, but in terms of scoring, Jimmie Johnson is your race leader.
Yeah, he got a fast pit stop in that last cycle and was able to lead the race off pit road, and now is leading the race in general. One
question: why did Quinn Houff lead the field off the restart even though he was lap down? Per 2003 rules at road courses, lap down cars restart with the leaders. Now at oval tracks, lap down cars restart on the inside lane, but at road course tracks, they just restart with the leaders.
All right.
And we do have another caution on the racetrack. Oh, dear.
Oh,
all right.
No.
Well, I might have overcompensated a little bit, but another caution is out on the racetrack, and Quinn Houff is going to fade through the pace car.
There he goes.
All right. So, 10 laps in, we've already had 3 cautions. Who's liking this race? Hopefully this time it actually had a reason for coming out, unlike last time where it just kind of mysteriously popped up. Oh, wow, it happened like right at the restart, too. All right. Let's figure out what happened to bring out this caution. And it was Kyle Larson. So Kyle Larson gets sent around by Alexander Rossi. Gets pushed around, and around goes the 42 car in front of the field, bringing out the third caution of the day. Take another look at it from the TV cameras. Yep. Rossi just pretty much sends the 42 around. Alright, so we will have another restart where everyone else is going to be able to challenge the leaders for the lead. Restarts tend to be the best spot to do so, as Chris Buescher slams into Kurt Busch under caution. We'll see if we have any pit stops coming this time by, as Quinn Houff, being the first car lap down, gets his lap back. Kevin Harvick does not get his lap back.
But if the caution comes out on this restart, he definitely will be back on.
And knowing our luck, the caution probably will come out on this restart. One person asking, how was that a caution? NR 2003 rules is pretty much all I can say. Because I think it was different at Alabama, where the caution would only come out if a car was spinning on the racetrack. Because all these tracks are not like in the game by default, they were modded in. I think it's kind of like modder's choice on what brings out a caution, as we have another split decision. A lot of drivers staying out, but a lot of drivers coming in. Oh boy, this makes things pretty interesting if you ask
Custer has a lot of
me.
damage. I noticed Cole Custer is pretty much missing the entire front of his car. I believe that was Cole Custer.
Maybe that's what brought out the first caution. There was a wild hood on the racetrack.
Yeah, Cole Custer out here running a modified setup.
Chase Elliott going to be the first one off pit road, followed by Ryan Blaney, and Ryan Prix almost gets Blaney at the line. Behind them, it's Newman, Sam Hornish, and Kevin Harvick, who's one lap down. Kyle Busch comes out behind, but your race leader will be Jimmy Johnson because he did not pit.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer, and Matt DiBenedetto, and Austin Cindric.
Also, 27 people watching right now, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry that a lot of this race has been run under caution. I think we're going to get a bit more of a green flag run here since we've kind of thinned out the field a little bit. Let's take a look at Cole Custer, like you were saying, how he's missing half of his car. Yep, Cole Custer, I think Cole Custer got confused. The modified race is tomorrow, not today. But alright, you know, we'll allow it.
Hey, maybe like lesser downforce, strong road courses makes you go faster. I don't know.
Yes, less downforce equals power at road courses, as Joey Logano nails Austin Cindric under caution. Told you that was going to happen quite a bit today.
Yeah, right now the top 5 is looking like a lot of good road course racers. We got Clint Boyer, who's won a couple of road courses, Matt DiBenedetto, Austin Cindric especially, and Joey Logano.
William Byron not having the day he wanted after starting up towards the front. Byron has pretty much been nowhere all race. Brad Keselowski with heavy damage, pretty much missing a rear bumper. I don't know if you need that, Brad, but you might want it. And also Tyler Reddick up inside the top 10, so pretty exciting top 10 here as we head in towards the restart.
Yeah, let's see how crazy this one gets.
Race leader Jimmy Johnson in that black and purple Ally 48, followed by Clint Boyer and Matt DiBenedetto. It's very easy for another driver to jump the leader on the restart here, so we'll see if Clint Boyer can pull anything off. Pace car is going to pull down pit road. Jimmy Johnson will enter the restart zone as he comes off the final corner on the racetrack. Coming into the get-go restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Jimmy Johnson is going to lead the field back to green, but Clint Boyer got a good restart. He's going to hang with that 48 car. Behind them, Austin Cindric going for third on Matt DiBenedetto. Big scramble as they head into turn 1, but it's very difficult to make a move in the S's. And up front, Clint Boyer is going for the lead on Jimmy Johnson.
He's holding strong through the S's.
Boyer around the outside trying to get a run on that 48 car, going to dive back to the inside, and Clint Boyer almost has him cleared, but Johnson's going to hold on the inside. Great move by Jimmy Johnson to hold on to the race lead.
It looked like Boyer pushed Johnson off the track into the grass, but still somehow Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, held on to it in hell position.
Side by side behind Austin Cindric and Matt DiBenedetto. That is going to clear out with Matt DiBenedetto coming into third. DiBenedetto continuing to work his way up towards the front. Clint Boyer losing some ground to Jimmy Johnson here. Johnson starting to pull away. Behind them, it's Matt DiBenedetto and Austin Cindric. I'd also like to point out that I like that when Jimmy Johnson's leading, our viewership goes from like 22 to 29. That's cool. Jimmy, can you do more of that, please? Actually, no.
And look who's in 5th, the winner from last weekend, Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell, he's the driver who really just, he probably wouldn't have won that race if the top 3 hadn't basically wrecked each other out, but because they did, Matt DiBenedetto was able to get to the lead, as we are going to make it 1 lap after the restart without a caution. Woo! We made it a lap, guys!
Alright.
I'm very proud of our team here. We were able to make it a grand total of 1 lap without a caution, so congratulations to all the drivers. Denny Hamlin tied Dillon going side by side there, but that's pretty far in the pack. Justin Haley and Cole Custer, forgot who was in that 41 car for a second. Alexander Rossi having a bit of a bad day here, not really having the race he wanted. He had an okay race going at Barber, but Alexander Rossi pretty far towards the back today, and also with heavy damage to the back bumper.
Yeah, so far, the only good race that's been going on for Rossi was back in St. Pete, where he was pretty much leading in the early stages until he got involved in a wreck, and that ended his race.
Alexander Rossi, so close at St. Pete, but he hasn't really been able to replicate that magic ever since. But hey, if we ever go back to St. Pete, then We'll take a look at Alexander Rossi as Ryan Blaney basically just bumped Chase Elliott out of the way. Blaney up the inside is going to try and take that spot away. Blaney racing with a lot of aggression today. I think we got to take another look at that because Ryan Blaney basically shoved Chase Elliott out of the way.
Yeah, he had the preferred line in the exit of the chicane there. See, coming down the hill, going into the chicane, Blaney right there.
Yeah, Blaney just hooks Chase Elliott and says, move.
It looks like he kind of faked him there, kind of faked inside entering the chicane, but then made it work on the inside exiting.
Great move by Ryan Blaney there as Corey LaJoie gets passed by Tyler Reddick. Heavy damage to, looks like Ryan Prix. That is Ryan Prix, as he's going to go up the inside of Chase Elliott. This could be contact. Ryan Prix very close to that quarter panel of the 9 car, but Prix in that beat-it and battered 37 car is going to make it, well, he's not going to make it around Chase Elliott, but he's going to get close.
Yeah, I remember they almost had a bit of contact earlier in the race before the last caution.
Maybe a bit of a rivalry brewing between Ryan Prix and Elliott here, like you just pointed out. Elliott's going to clear Prix going into the chicane, but is Ryan Prix going to... Oh, and he is! Oh, and Ryan Prix just dumps Chase Elliott! Chase Elliott in the wall!
And that's going to pretty much end Chase Elliott's day.
Will that bring out a caution, though? I don't think it will, and Elliott's in the wall again.
Oh, no.
Chase Elliott, man, what are you doing? All right,
that's definitely going to end his day. But no caution, surprisingly.
Yeah, no caution. All right. So I'm actually happy about that. I'm glad that we don't have a caution, because Chase Elliott was basically off the racetrack, but Chase Elliott, a horrible turn of events for him. Let's take a look at what happened to that 9 car. Basically a string of 2 terrible laps. First, he got bumped out of the way by Blaney, and now he got dumped by Ryan Prix.
And Chase cannot be happy with Ryan Prix after that.
I also want to take a look at this, because look at how close Ryan Prix got to Chase Elliott right here. He basically almost dumped Chase Elliott coming through that double right-hander. He's right on the quarter panel.
Look at that.
Not happy with Chase Elliott. And Chase Elliott goes to door Ryan Prix, and then skipping forward a bit to the S's.
Oh boy, here we go.
We'll take a look at it in slow motion here. Ryan Prix right on the bumper of the 9 car and just hooks him in the left rear quarter panel, and around goes the 9 into the wall. Elliott spinning into the gravel trap. A horrible turn of events for Chase Elliott. Such a good road course racer and was leading at one point today, but gets taken out by Ryan Prix. And then I don't even know what happened, because he got off the gravel.
Looks like he was trying to get going.
He got off the gravel.
And then it looks like just...
Alright, chase cam for Chase Elliott here. Haha, chase cam. Elliott just...
Yeah, it looks like he just tagged a bumpman of the bridge.
So Chase Elliott basically out of contention for today's race as Quinn Houff goes around Brad Keselowski, and Newman takes out Martin Truex Jr. But Truex is going to keep it straight. Good save by the 19 car. That will not bring out the caution. Not Ryan Prix, Ricky Stenhouse on the pit lane. What is happening?
He's smoking.
So much is happening.
All the big contenders are gone now.
Ricky Stenhouse,
Chase Elliott.
So everything is kicking off here because, oh my. And Ricky Stenhouse gets dumped by Sam Hornish.
Oh. That reminded me a little bit of what happened last weekend.
And Hornish was damaged as well. Sam Hornish, one of the drivers who was in contention to win this race, taken out with Ricky Stenhouse. All right, we got to take a look at this from helicopter
camera.
How
is this not a caution?
Takes out question. Stenhouse back in front, takes out Harvick and Newman.
How is that not a caution, though?
I actually, okay, it might be, because this happened after we last checked. So Hornish hooks Stenhouse into the wall, gets spun back again, and takes out Harvick and Newman.
That is giving me serious deja vu to what happened after the first restart last week.
All right, you're right. That was
Stenhouse, Dillon, and Custer.
So that was not a caution somehow. Sam Hornish taking out 4 drivers, including himself, is not a caution. Yet some mysterious thing where we don't even know what happened is. Good job, NR 2003. Very good job. All right.
Just saying, if David Hoots was in the in the box, that would have been a caution. You
David
would
Hoots
hear
has
him put
fallen
it out over the radio.
David Hoots is asleep right now. He came back for this one race, but he's on his lunch break. And Kevin Harvick is staying out on the racetrack. Okay, so a lot of the very strong contenders taken out of today's race. But I want to check up on Matt DiBenedetto. How's he doing? Oh, I can't even find Matt DiBenedetto. There he is. All the way back in 29th. Okay, well, since something probably happened, let's take a look at what happened to Matt DiBenedetto, because he was up inside like the top 10, and now he's... Did he just pit?
I think maybe he just pit.
No, he didn't pit.
No.
Oh, God, what This race is turning into a mess, but a fun mess. Did he just get shoved out the track? Nope, he did pit. So, randomly in the middle of a green flag run, Matt DiBenedetto comes to the pit lane and practically ruins his race. Hold on, is Ty Dillon about to wreck Eric Almirola? No, he is not. Looked like he was for a second there. Alright, so now things have quieted down quite a little bit. What do you think of the race so far, Charles?
Craziness. I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest. The rivalry that I'd least expect is Ryan Preece and Chase Elliott. Here we are. So,
I mean, sure, it wasn't a rivalry because, you know, of course, that was just probably like some sort of random number generator take out Chase Elliott. Yes or no? But I mean, I guess just the way things fell, Ryan Preece got angry and said bye-bye Chase Elliott and dumped him into the wall. So, interesting situation developing here at Atlanta. I think it'd be pretty cool if we could have like a post-race fight between Ryan Preece and Chase Elliott. You know, just have two little like badly animated guys just like running at each other.
For sure. But it looks like Boyer, he might be closing in on Johnson.
Clint Boyer actually, yeah, you're right. He's definitely getting a lot closer to that 48 car. I wonder if Boyer maybe took tires and Jimmy Johnson but didn't. We'll take a look at the gap this time by. It was 0.6 of a second last time. Austin Cindric there, up inside the top 5 as well. Good run for Cindric. Joey Logano also having a quietly good run today. Alex Bowman in 6th, Austin Dillon 7th, and Tyler Reddick in 8th. I will say one thing, Tyler, your car is lying. You are not 2nd, you are 8th, but, you know, yeah, close enough. It's top 10. This time by, the gap between Boyer and Johnson was also 0.6 of a second, but Johnson pulled out just a little bit. I'd be interesting to see this here, because we haven't really seen a green flag pass for the lead all day, other than off of restart, so I'd be interested to see if maybe Clint Boyer can get up here and challenge Jimmy Johnson for the lead.
If he does, I believe he might make his move. Like, the straightaway is the back straightaway.
And look at how close Boyer's getting through the S's. I think that's probably a telltale sign that Jimmy Johnson did not take tires, because S's are one of the places where the tires matter most, and Clint Boyer was able to close up quite a bit there. Unfortunately, didn't quite get the run he needed off the S's, so Johnson was able to pull away just a little bit again.
They're coming onto that big straight. You can catch a good draft there, and then it closed up on the car in front and make the pass in the final chicane. And it's looking like Boyer's going to try his best to do that.
Boyer falling back just a little bit here. Don't think he's going to be able to... Well, actually, he's going for it from a long way back. But that was never going to work, Clint. Maybe he'll gain a little bit of time out of that, but that was never going to work. But actually, Jimmy Johnson is heading into the pit lane, which means Clint Boyer is going to take the lead.
Austin Cindric on pit road.
A lot of drivers coming in, so I think this is where we're starting to see some of the split strategy coming into play. You can see Corey LaJoie there staying out. We'll take a look if Jimmy Johnson takes tires or not. Left side going up on that 48 car means that he will probably be taking 4. Will the right sides go up as well? Yes, they will. So Jimmy Johnson... we'll see if Clint Boyer comes in next lap, because maybe that's an undercut out of that 48 crew as we see Eric Almirola there getting by Ryan Newman. Well, not quite getting by Ryan Newman. Newman's still on the inside. Battle here for wherever they are on the racetrack.
Yeah, Ryan Newman, notoriously hard to pass.
In the S's. Through that like final S curve, it's very difficult to be on the outside. I'm pretty sure it's off camber, so that means that if you're on the outside, you're going to go wide there.
Absolutely, is Boyer temporarily leading the field. Gonna make a pit stop this time.
Just about halfway now. Thank you all for tuning in. We've maintained just over 20 viewers, so very cool as Clint Boyer is going to come into the pit lane. McDowell in as well, so is Joey Logano. We'll watch through the field, see if anyone else comes in. Corey LaJoy. Blaney's going to stay out. Kyle Larson comes in. Kurt Busch comes in. Kyle Busch staying out. Cole Custer staying out. Eric Jones in. Rossi, Hamlin, all those guys going by out as well. Ryan Newman bringing it in. Quinn Half Almirola staying out. All right, we'll take a look at the gap here. Left side's going on for the 14 car. Left sides are down. Right side's going up as well. A bit of a slow transition there. We'll watch the race off of pit road. Is Jimmy Johnson going to be able to successfully undercut Clint Bowyer? Boyer's out, and there goes the 48 car. Jimmy Johnson is going to stay in front of Clint Bowyer. But Bowyer actually closed in. So maybe a bit of an
Boyer's right there.
So maybe a bit of an overcut in play here for Clint Bowyer. We don't see that too often in racing, but that might be something that Clint Bowyer's team is trying to pull off here. Back up front, Chase Elliott also back inside the top 10, but it doesn't look like he has much of a rear bumper left after that damage with Ryan Preece. Lots of damaged cars throughout the racetrack. Alright, so the race leader right now is Ryan Blaney. We'll see if he brings it in this time by. He is not going to bring it into the pit stops, but the car behind him is. Ryan Preece coming in, heavy hood damage for Ryan Preece after taking out Chase Elliott. Cole Custer in as well, but Denny Hamlin stays out. So does Rossi, Bell, and Justin Haley. So does Chris Buescher and William Byron. Eric Almirola, Quinn Half brings it in. So a lot of drivers staying out. I don't know if maybe they're just on different strategies. So let's see. Jimmy Johnson pitted around lap 22. We'll see if maybe these guys that are out on the racetrack right now, maybe they are just on a different strategy. I don't know if maybe they're on the same strategy but pitting at different times. Interesting situation here unfolding as we see Chase Elliott under attack from Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, Matt DiBenedetto with the cleaner car and Chase Elliott still with the damage.
And DiBenedetto, great move around the outside. He's going to pull off that move on Chase Elliott. Probably, as you said, the cleaner car probably helped DiBenedetto quite a bit. Here's Jimmy Johnson from that second pack, pulling quite a bit away from Clint Bowyer. Jimmy Johnson flying away from the field here. This reminds me of, 2016 Jimmy Johnson, back when he was, really good and dominating every race.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Blaney's coming in.
Kyle Busch stays out. Hamlin stays out on the racetrack as well. Rossi brings it in. Bell doesn't. Neither does Haley. Buescher brings it in. So does Byron. Almirola does not. Truex doesn't either. Neither does Dillon, Keselowski, Custer, or Elliott. Johnson stays out as well, who is still pulling away from Clint Bowyer. Here are the pit stops. Left side's going up for Ryan Blaney. Kevin Harvick's still slow on the racetrack after that damage he sustained. Cole Custer and Eric Jones, a bit of a battle going on there. Ryan Blaney's going to win the race off pit road out of that group. Heavy damage to Tyler Reddick, unfortunately. Now Jimmy Johnson's, this is interesting. So Jimmy Johnson running into some not lap traffic, but just traffic on the racetrack. That might give Clint Bowyer a chance to come up here, try and take the lead from Johnson.
And I'm just remembering what happened with Jimmy Johnson. As sadly, he was in the kind of position of Chase Elliott, where he was a lap car that kind of slowed up the leaders of Stenhouse, bringing Cole Custer closer and almost able to make a pass for the lead under green. Of course, that did not pan out.
That was actually, at Barber, what I remember is that was the one time under green that anyone could challenge Jimmy Johnson, as there's contact between Johnson and Elliott. Johnson maybe going to lose a little bit of time there as Chase Elliott brings it to pit road. Matt DiBenedetto staying out on the racetrack. Quite a few drivers bringing it in. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch have still not brought it into the pit lane, so Kyle Busch, your race leader. Jimmy Johnson getting around Matt DiBenedetto. This is one of the spots on the racetrack where it's difficult to make a pass, but Johnson, oh no, he's not going to be able to. Matt DiBenedetto holding on the outside. Not for long, though. DiBenedetto is going to concede to Jimmy Johnson. Now Clint Bowyer will have to get around Matt. Bowyer slides wide. I think that's where he's been losing the most time.
Yeah, he's been losing time out of turn 5, going into turn 6.
All right, we'll take a look at the Gibbs teammates here, see if Kyle Busch finally decides to bring it into the pit lane. If not, I don't know what kind of strategy Kyle's on. Maybe waiting for a caution.
He's going for the checkers or wreckers mentality. I like it.
I think he's going for a caution. And Kyle Busch is going to bring it in. So does Denny Hamlin. That's going to hand the lead back to Jimmy Johnson. We should see Johnson coming up on your screen here in just a minute. Unless he found a way to wreck in the chicane. He has not. Jimmy Johnson is going to be your new race leader, coming across the line this time by Matt Benedetto. Well, actually, he's not going to get overtaken by Clint Boyer, because Boyer's quite a ways back. Right side's going down on the 18 car. No, left side's going down. Alright, sorry, messed that up.
So now, Jimmy Johnson retakes the lead. I'm assuming Matt Benedetto is second on track right now.
Benedetto is second, but he is not on the preferred strategy, the strategy of the leaders. But I would like to see how this kind of overlaps with the finish of the race, because if you think about it, there is a chance that the drivers who are off sequence, kind of, they actually could be the ones who are going to come away with the win, depending on how the how the cautions fall their way, and two, how the strategy falls their way. Someone said in chat, I feel like there's going to be a wreck soon. It's definitely possible. In the test races I did, it was definitely possible for a caution to come out quite a ways into a run, especially with a lot of slow cars on the racetrack.
And a lot of cars with damage.
Here's William Byron all the way back in 24th. Horrible day for William Byron after starting on the front row.
If it really went bad for him on the first, I believe it was the first set of pit stops, or either second set on one of the cautions, where he was practically T-boned by Bubba Wallace.
Ryan Preece maybe trying to line up a move here on Alexander Rossi. Nothing's going to come of that as they head into the chicane. Oh, sorry for a second there. I thought Eric Jones was bringing it into the pit lane. He is not. Now Kyle Busch under attack from Cole Custer, who looks like he should be racing at South Boston right about now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonder Cole Custer the officials are allowing Cole Custer, especially with the caution clock in place nowadays. I guess it's just maybe, yeah. Then they're just
in NR 2003 world, they can rip off a hood like it's nothing. They just snap their fingers and poof, the hood is gone. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Truly an amazing ritual to see take place. Alright, so Jimmy Johnson pulling way away from the field there. That's the gap back to Clint Boyer. That's got to be at least 5 seconds, if not more. Coming through the chicane here, this tends to be a trouble spot on the racetrack, so we'll see if a caution comes out here. If you take a look at the lights on the tow truck there in the infield, that's one way to tell if there's a caution out. That's one of the ways that I use, because it's difficult to see the pace car, and there's not really an indicator if there's a caution, so yeah. Slow car on the bottom. Someone's saying slow car on the bottom. Do you mean the tow truck, sir?
Caution as we're gonna look over the field from the Goodyear blimp overhead.
Well, actually, I think that's the Goodyear helicopter, but yeah, close enough.
Goodyear helicopter.
Goodyear bought a helicopter, too.
They brought the tires, they brought a helicopter, they brought a blimp, they brought everything.
The way that they brought the tires actually is in the Goodyear helicopter. They basically just launch tires at the race teams from out of the helicopter from like 400 feet in the air. They're just like, here, take some tires, and some people died. Anyways.
Yeah, it's very, very tragic, but still
some tragic events happening here this morning. Unfortunately, one of the crew members, after being hit in the head with a falling tire, has been pronounced dead. Well, actually, his name is pronounced Dan, but now he's dead, so.
Dan is dead.
Battle here going on in the midfield. That's Christopher Bell in front of Justin Haley. Not much happening right now on the racetrack. I think these drivers are just kind of trying to get closer and closer to the end before they try and make a move here. There's the greatest driver of all time, Tyler Reddick, up in 7th. Alex Bowman and Matt Benedetto side by side. Bowman's going to have the advantage there and take away what looks like the 5th spot from Matt Benedetto.
And Matt Benedetto is starting to lose a lot of ground. He's fallen back. I believe he said he is off strategy. He pitted under green earlier in the run before everyone else. And you think, hey, that'd be the good strategy, right? Wrong.
Last time by, the gap between Jimmy Johnson and Clint Bowyer was 2.7 seconds. But I would like to point out that I think times have fallen off quite a bit here. Or no, that's just speed. Never mind, that's speed. I thought that was like I thought that the number next to Jimmy Johnson in scoring was his lap times. Nope, that's just his average speed. Oh, I heard some wrecking. I heard wrecking noises. Oh wait, nope, that's just feedback from your microphone. Never mind. Matt Benedetto brings it into the pit lane.
Yeah, he is way off strategy.
Pizza Hut Cup Series in the chat says Tyler is the best. He gets it.
I mean, Phoenix, he had a good run going.
We don't talk about that race, Charles.
I'm sorry.
He finished second, okay?
Nah, Joey Logano failed inspection. Tyler Reddick won that race. What are you talking about?
Everybody up to like 34th failed inspection, and Tyler Reddick won. That's what happened. What blown tire? I don't remember any blown tire. Alright, so coming towards the end of the race, things definitely starting to get a little bit boring. However, definitely room for a mechanical failure, some kind of wreck, something to bring out a caution here. But if not, I don't think people would be all that unhappy with Jimmy Johnson coming away with the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, what, over 2.5 years since Johnson's last win at this point?
Jimmy Johnson's last points-paying win, I believe, was Dover 2017. I only know that because I was watching that race, and I think that's the last time Jimmy Johnson won, unless we're going to include the Clash in that, but... And hey, maybe if we ever get the 2020 season rolling again, maybe Jimmy Johnson can win again.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good run going in the first few races of 2020. I'll be interested to see how he does.
He really did have, like, a really good run going. I think in every race except for Daytona, he finished top 10, and then, you know, the world kind of said pause to everything, but hey, he could win at the Coke 600 when NASCAR should return.
Hopefully they'll return for the Coke 600. I think that'd be like a really cool, grand return, you know?
Especially because I think that'd be sooner than most sporting events. Here's Kyle Busch on Ryan Blaney. Crossover out of that 18 car. Up the inside of the 12 goes Kyle Busch.
Almost contact through those corners. Blaney gets really close to the door panel of Kyle Busch down the straightaway.
Side by side as they head towards the chicane, Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. This is a really close battle here. I don't know what spot it's for. I think it's for 12th. Side by side into the chicane. I think Ryan Blaney is going to have the advantage here. No, he doesn't. Kyle Busch is going to hold on. Blaney holds on the outside, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold on through the final corner. Kyle Busch is going to clear him. Blaney is going to fight him back, though.
Yeah, I definitely think he might pull out into turn 1. No, he doesn't. He stays right behind Kyle Busch.
Blaney getting closer and closer to that 18 car. We'll see if he can make a move here through the S's. Maybe on the exit of the S's, he just ran a little bit wide there. And also Ryan Blaney has some fender damage, it looks like, so Kyle Busch is going to pull away. Here's Cole Custer and Denny Hamlin. Somehow Custer has managed to run down Denny Hamlin with a car that, seriously, I know I joked, but really, this car should not be running in the Cup Series. This car should be run by, you know, Justin Bonsignor over at New Smyrna. Jimmy Johnson continuing to pull away. Well, he's not actually pulling away actively, and actually now he's going to bring it to the pit lane. Bowyer stays out. Johnson brings it in. Harvick stays out, so does Michael McDowell. So we have some pit stops. Bowman brings it in. Reddick stays out, so does Joey Logano. Pretty late pit stops, though. And come to think of it, Kyle Busch was one of the drivers who was staying out much longer than everyone else. So now Ryan Blaney might want to try and get around Kyle Busch here.
Yeah, because this could end up to be the race for the win here. He's about 3-4 car lengths back on Kyle Busch through turn 1 and into the S's.
It could be the end of the race unless there is a caution. That's one of the things that we have to consider. It's very possible that a caution comes out. Mechanical failures, they could always happen. So don't count out the possibility of a caution coming out here late in the going.
I'm just saying, last week they were doing their green flag pit stops, and that's when the first caution came out. So If it happened last weekend, then I think it could easily happen this weekend.
Road Atlanta has proven to be a lot more chaotic than Barber was last weekend, as we see Matt DiBenedetto here in Austin Dillon. DiBenedetto is probably going to get the run off that corner. Remember, these two back at St. Pete, they had a bit of a run-in, which caused the first multi-car pileup of this series. Back then, it wasn't actually part of the series, but I think we can count it as part of the series, as here comes Matt DiBenedetto down the inside of Austin Dillon. Good move by that 21 car, gets him around the 3. So back up to the pit stops. Busch stays out. Tyler Reddick brings it in. So does Michael McDowell. Clint Boyer, right side's going up as well. I'd watch out for Kyle Busch here, though. Because Kyle Busch, one of those drivers who's... Busch was one of those drivers who had been staying out quite a bit, not pitting, as we see Eric Almirola go down the inside of Austin Cindric.
Is not gonna quite make it work, just enough to get just barely around him through the S's.
Side by side into the S's, Austin Cindric gonna concede that spot.
Yeah, we're closing up with only about 6 laps to go in the race. It's gonna get exciting, that's for sure.
So I think your race leader right now. We'll take a look at the next time they come around to the start-finish line to see who your race leader is, because things get pretty messed up under pit stops.
Yeah.
I know Joey Logano brought it in, but he could be your race leader. I don't think he is. Pit stops changing some things up here. But coming across the line, we will be able to verify who your race leader is. I think it's Kyle Busch. I don't think Joey Logano.
No, it's Joey Logano!
Oh, it is Joey Logano. Okay.
And Corey LaJoy is in second. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. Okay, so Joey Logano is your race leader. Kyle Busch is actually 4th. I thought he was your race leader because he had been the one who was leading the race, staying out quite a bit. But now the question is, do they have to pit again, or can they stretch it until the end?
Yeah, that's a big question. There is still time. We have seen in the past where cars hit with coming 3, 4, even 2 laps to go in the race. It'll be interesting to see what happens in these closing laps.
All right, this is a bit of a unrelated here, but you just talked about pitting in like the last 2 laps. There's another YouTuber who does an NR 2003 series. His name is, I think it's ALTX. I don't know if he pronounces it as Altix, but I think it's ALTX. By the way, you guys should subscribe to him if you haven't already. Very good channel. I meant to give him a shout out a while ago, but I haven't yet. I'll do that soon. Anyways, he did an auto club race, and it was pretty much decided off of fuel mileage when the leaders pitted with like a lap to go, and that's how Daniel Suarez ended up winning that race. So, are we going to see another situation like that? Because Joey Logano
there he
so does
is.
Corey LaJoy. Kyle Larson brings it in as well. Now the question is, Kyle Busch staying out, so is Blaney and Hamlin. So your race leader now, Kyle Busch, as Custer brings it in. Rossi stays out, so does Ryan Prix. Bell stays out as well. Clint Boyer.
Finish for Rossi.
So Joey Logano in the pit lane. Kyle Busch is now your race leader. Ryan Blaney in second. At this point, I think a caution has to come out this lap, or else the race is going to end under yellow. Kyle Busch might have it made.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Blaney, the Penske meat in a Joe Gibbs sandwich right now, and that's, as a Penske driver, probably not the best place you want to be, because we know those 2 teams and all the drivers on those teams have history with each other.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't think of a single moment in NASCAR history where Team Penske and Joe Gibbs didn't like each other. You know, as long as you forget the past 3 years, including Auto Club of this year. No, my favorite is when Martin Truex says, "I'm going to wreck him," and then he never does. Like, when was the last time Martin Truex Jr. maliciously wrecked someone? Like, honest question, everyone in the chat. All right.
I don't think it ever happened.
Kyle Busch stays out. Blaney does as well. So your top 3 on the racetrack remain the same. Will Rossi bring it in? Priest brings it in. No one else is going to bring it in. Kyle Busch right now in position to win this race if he can stretch the fuel to the end.
He's looking good right now. 0.8 for Ryan Blaney. He's not too far back. He might be closing, maybe.
I think that we shouldn't show this race to any Jimmy Johnson fans, because he had pretty much dominated the race during the green flag cycles, and then it doesn't look like the pit strategy is going to fall his way. So we're coming to 2 to go this time by. Kyle Busch, your race leader. Do you think he's going to be able to make it to the end?
At this point, I have no idea. I mean, he might be able to if he plays his cards right.
I'd be interested to see if maybe Denny Hamlin or Ryan Blaney try and stay out, try and jump Kyle Busch. All right,
Yeah,
so we'll
but
take
that
a look
is
at the.
if Kyle pits.
Kyle Busch is not going to bring it in, but Ryan Blaney does. Ryan Blaney out of the race for the win. Now it's just Hamlin and Busch. Blaney brings it in, so does Rossi. Christopher Bell stays out. I don't know if Kyle Busch is going to be able to make it. A lot of these drivers are on similar strategies. And what has happened to Jimmy Johnson? He has fallen quite a ways back.
Yeah, but Kyle Busch, he's holding on.
Kyle Busch, your race leader right now. If he doesn't bring it in this lap, then it's going to be Kyle Busch coming away with the win. This is gonna get close. This reminds me of like the 2017 Coke 600, where there were about 5 drivers who could have won, but in the end it was just based off of pit strategy. I just hope that a caution doesn't come out now, because I don't want this race to end under yellow. I want to see what happens if we go green until the end.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin do pit, who is that gonna leave? Maybe Christopher Bell?
Christopher Bell in third. But can he stretch it to the end? And if they all pit, then who takes advantage at that point? It is now the moment of truth. Kyle Busch is not going to bring it in. He stays out on the racetrack. Can he stretch it all the way around? We'll see if... Alright, so we'll see who comes out in third. Bell stays out at this point. It's checkers or run out of fuelers at this point. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Can Kyle Busch make it around?
He's looking pretty good right now. I mean, since we're drivers pit on the last lap coming to the line, who knows what could happen at this point?
Kyle Busch staying out on the racetrack. Denny Hamlin in second. If anything happens to your leader, they both look really slow coming out of the hill. I think they're just trying to save fuel at this point. I don't even know if it's possible in this simulation to like run out of fuel while you're on the racetrack, but if it is, then I think Kyle Busch could be in trouble here.
Yeah, because Hamlin, it looks like he's closing, and he is closing fast.
We're coming to the checkered flag. Denny Hamlin run down Kyle Busch. It's quite a big gap. I think Busch is going to make it home.
Let's see.
Through the final chicane. And strategy is going to pay off for Kyle Busch unless he brings it in. He will not. Kyle Busch is going to stay out on the racetrack and win the 2020 Atlanta Grand Prix. Checkered flag in the air for the 18 car. And what a race that was. Kyle Busch able to play his strategy right and bring home the victory here at Road Atlanta. Hamlin second. Coming home in third is Christopher Bell. Haley fourth. Justin Haley, what a race ran today. Clint Boyer in fifth. Austin Cindric in sixth. And Jimmy Johnson comes home in 8th. Very disappointing run for that 48 car. But it's Kyle Busch winning the race at Road Atlanta. And 31 viewers in the chat to top it off. This is going to be a very controversial race, I know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with a driver that is very divisive in the NASCAR world, and then of course Chase Elliott and Ryan Prix stuff, or cautions early in the race, followed by pretty much the rest of the race going green. This one's definitely going to be one for the books.
A very good way to kick off. Yeah, we're still kind of in the kickoff phase of this whole series. If you're in the chat, let me know. I like how right after the race ends, we spiked to 32 viewers. Thanks, everyone. All right. Let me know in the chat if you enjoyed this race and if you want this series to continue. If it does, then the next race will probably be in 1 or 2 weeks. It is now confirmed Kyle Busch is your race winner. So, I guess my final question to you, Charles, is, do you think that this race was better or worse than last weekend in Alabama?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm not a big but it was definitely a good race for sure. I mean, we had strategy all over the place. Strategy really played a good part in deciding who was the winner in this race. We had some incidents. We had some controversial moments. So, hey, I think this race is pretty much anything a NASCAR fan would dream.
a lot of people saying that they enjoyed it and that they would like this to continue. So, yeah, the series will continue probably 1 or 2 weeks. It's probably not going to continue to be a weekly series, but I might try and schedule it so it fills the gaps in the Trackmasters Cup Series races. For the next race we do, I don't have the track decided yet because I originally had a schedule, but I actually think it's more fun to kind of go on a week-by-week basis. There's a lot of ideas that I did have for the next track. Montreal was an interesting idea, Circus Gilles Villeneuve. Most Sport, that was also an idea I had. I think it's the Pinty Series races at a kind of street... Oh, well, there's a wreck on pit road. William Byron and Quinn Halfer wrecking on the pit lane. All right. So Quinn Half turns across William Byron and physics 100. That's all I can say. Wow, what
Quickly get the cameras down to Quinn Half and William Byron.
what incredible physics. Okay, well, that's about the weird. I think that this is where we should freeze it for our mini post-race discussion. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let me know in the chat if there's any tracks that you want to see. Of course, I am limited to what has been created in the NR 2003 mod community, which, by the way, is an incredible community. There are just so many mods out there of so many tracks. For next week, or not next week, I guess next race, I was thinking of a couple of different tracks. Mo Sport could be fun, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I think Gilles Villeneuve could be quite a fun racetrack. I do have the Mexico circuit installed. It's a little bit weird in the way that it drives with the AI, so I don't think that would be a very good pick. Another one is a track that the Pinty Series runs in Canada. I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's Troy Riviere. And it's like this It's like this really weird, like triangle-shaped, really short racetrack. It would be a mess, but I think it would be a fun mess. You guys can let me know what kind of tracks you would like. Sebring should be next. I do have Sebring installed. I might actually try and download a different version of Sebring, one that doesn't, glitch out under caution quite as much. I was also thinking Spa. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of accurate versions of Spa. The one that I did have downloaded had that really weird final chicane. Like, it wasn't the bus stop. It was, like, the other one that they ran in, like, 2007. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
It's kind of like if they took the Watkins Glen bus stop and just, like, slapped it on Spa, and they're like, that. It's really weird, and the AI at that track just, like, shove their cars in the wall, like, on lap 1, which is one of the... I was actually thinking that we could do Spa this week, but it didn't really work out. You should do Daytona Road Course.
Ooh.
That's an idea. What about the Talladega Road Course?
Kind of give you a sneak peek of what the Clash next year could be like.
Yeah, especially because they are going to run it with the Gen 6 cars, assuming they still go through with that for 2021. Daytona Road Course is an interesting idea. I thought Indianapolis Road Course could be a fun one. I know there's a Talladega Road Course mod, which would be just completely different than anything else. Yeah, that's a couple of the ideas I had. Maybe some other stuff, because we've been kind of focusing on the southeast for the first 2 races, so I'm thinking we could go more west. Laguna Seca, even Sonoma isn't a very bad racetrack. We could run it there. Granted, I'm pretty sure Alexander Rossi would just win that race by 10 miles, but yeah. All right, so unless there are any questions from the chat, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I think at our peak we had around 32 viewers, which is really good, so thank you all.
Right.
Other than that, hopefully if you haven't already watched my newest stop motion, you should go ahead and check that one out. I'm very proud of the way that one came out. And the other thing that you should probably do is check out the sponsor for today's race, the LMA Network. I think their YouTube channel is called the Online Motorsports Association Network. You should definitely go check them out. That is Eddie Kalegi's league. They stream on, I think he said that they stream on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you want to check them out, you should definitely go ahead and subscribe. Another YouTuber that you should check out is ALTX. He's another NR 2003 YouTuber who does NR 2003 races. So you guys should probably check him out as well. I could drop links in the chat, but I don't have them like copied anywhere. Another guy you should check out is Charles Bowen. He's the one who commentated today's race with me, Charles BTV. He was also in the chat a couple of times today, so you can click on his YouTube channel through there. But other than that, that is going to do it from today's Atlanta Grand Prix. Next week will be Well, let me rephrase that. The next race might be outside of the U.S., but it'll probably be in a bit of a different region than we've been going to so far. So thank you all for tuning in. If you have any track suggestions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments or in the chat. But until next time, this is Jonathan and Charles Bowen signing out. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next time. Bye.
Have a good one, guys.